Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you very much for being here. Today we're on the part 2 of the second series of exploring the mercy of Sri Nityananda through song and shastra. So before we begin, we'd just like to offer some prayers and Dandavat Pranam to all of you as well. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Siddhantotpala Saranitya-rasikam Hangsam Vilasatmakam Audaryakya Sudhama Sevakadhanam Vishramba Bhakti Pradam Yatya Yukti Vichakshanam Tvakapido Vaishishta Shaktya Sada Vandeham Tripurarinam Akayatim Shri Bhakti Vedantinam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Swami Shri Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupadaya Te Namaha Gurvakyam Shirasi Dritva Shaktya Swarupine Hare Krishna Ti Mantrena Paschati Prachitarine Vishvacharya Praparyaya Divya Karunya Murtaye Shri Bhagavata Madhurya Gita Jnana Pradayine Gaura Shri Rupa Siddhanta Saraswati Nishevine Radha Krishna Padam Bhoja Bringaya Gurave Namaha Devang Divyatanam Suchanda Vadanam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Purang Sadeka Varanam Varagya Vidam Buddhim Shri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Sarasvatanam Varam Vande Tang Shubhadam Adeka Sharanam Yashishwaram Shri Dharam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ajinulambita Pujo Kanakavadato Sankirtanaika Pitaro Kamalaya Taksho Vishvambaro Dvijavaro Yugadharma Palo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanando Sahodito Gododaye Pushpavanto Chitro Shando Tamonudho Vandeham Shri Rama Krishna Abhaya Charana Sukho Sukhado Paramanando Sundaro Subala Priyo Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So welcome everybody. I just need to pin the post. Okay, so yeah, welcome. Today we will be exploring a different song. Last week we went through the verses from the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, which described how Lord Nityananda appeared to him in a dream. And upon the orders of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Krishnadas Kaviraj went to Vrindavan and got the shelter of the Goswamis of Vrindavan and went on to write the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, giving access to the people of the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the tattva behind that. I was just listening to a class earlier where my Guru Maharaj was saying that because the Goswamis were writing in Sanskrit and the people did not really, nobody really spoke Sanskrit. So, and Krishnadas wrote the Chaitanya Charitamrita in Bengali, that was really giving it to the people, because then the people could, understand and speak that language. So today we're going to explore a different song by the other great biographer and author of the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who also received the great mercy of Lord Nityananda. and that is Vrindavan Das Thakur. And he, the song that we're going to explore today is called Jaya Jaya Nityananda Rohini Kumar. Probably most of you are familiar with Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. He wrote the great Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, and you may know something about his history. He was the son. His mother was Srimati Narayani Devi, and when Narayani Devi was a little girl, she was the niece of Srivas Thakur. She was the daughter of his elder brother. And so when she was there in the house of Srivas Thakur, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was performing his kirtan pastimes and sharing the glories of the holy name, and he gave little Narayani, when she was a small girl, he gave her a lot of mercy, sometimes giving her the prasad that he was eating. One time he said he asked her to chant the holy names and cry in ecstasy, and this little girl, she did that. She started to chant Krishna Krishna, and tears were coming from her eyes, and she was really the recipient of a lot of mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then when she got a little bit older, and she had her son Vrindavan Das Thakur, and he himself was a great devotee, and he's known as the last disciple of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. And he shares in his Chaitanya Bhagavat that he wrote that under the order of Nityananda Prabhu. That I think he says that Lord Nityananda ordered him in his heart to write that. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami glorifies Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur a lot. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he describes him as the Veda Vyas of Gaura Leela, as the Vyasadev of Gaura Leela, and also that's also said in the Gaura Ganodesh Deepika, that Vrindavan Das Thakur is also Veda Vyas. But also in the Gaura Ganodesh Deepika, it also says that Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur in Krishna Leela is the cowherd boy known as Kusamapid. So he's also a cowherd boy, and we hear that he is himself in Sakiras, and as we know, a great devotee of Lord Nityananda. So so today we're going to I think we'll sing this song first, and then we'll go through the verses and talk a little bit about it. Unfortunately, I will have to mute everybody. It would be nice to hear the response, but with Zoom, everybody will come in at different times, and it will be difficult. So we'll keep everybody muted, and I'll just share the screen so we can get the words up. Screen, portion of screen. Okay, so hopefully everyone can see that. Is that okay? We can see the words. Brilliant. Okay, so sorry, I've just had I need to plug in. I'm hoping that, anyway, sorry, I'll be back in one moment. I just didn't plug in my laptop. 1 second, I'm so sorry. Oops, I'm very sorry about that. I forgot to bring the wire to plug it in, and it's telling me it's got a low battery. Okay, that's good. Okay, so Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Shri Nityananda Ram Prabhu ki jai. Jaya Jaya Nityananda Rohini Kumara Patita Udhara Lagi Tubahu Pasara Jaya Jaya Nityananda Rohini Kumara Patita Udhara Lagi Tubahu Pasara Gada Gada Madhura Madhura Thopola Yare Deke Tare Preme Tori Deya Kola Gada Gada Madhura Madhura Thopola Yare Deke Tare Preme Tori Deya Kola Tagamagalochana Uraye Nirantar Sonara Kamale Yeno Tiraye Brahmara Tagamagalochana Uraye Nirantar Sonara Kamale Yeno Tiraye Pramara Tayara Takuranitai Paradukha Jane Harina Mermalagati Dilo Jagajane Toyara Takuranitai Paradukha Jane Harina Mermalagati Dilo Jagajane Papi Pashandi Jato Korilo Dalana Hina Hina Jane Koila Prema Vitarana Papi Pashandi Jato Korilo Dalana Hina Hina Jane Koila Prema Vitarana Ahare Goranga Boli Pade Bhumitale Sharira Bijilo Nitar Nayane Rajale Ahare Goranga Boli Pade Bhumitale Sharira Bijilo Nitar Nayane Rajale Vrindavana Dasamane Ei Vicharilo Dharani Pare Kiva Sumeru Porilo Vrindavana Dasamane vicharilo dharani upare kiva sumeru porilo Jaya Jaya Nityananda Rohini Kumara Patita Udhara Lagi Dubahu Pasara Jaya Jaya Nityananda Rohini Kumara Patita Udhara Lagi Dubahu Pasara Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Shri Nityananda Ram Prabhu ki jai, Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai, Shri Gurudev ki jai. Right, I'll try to adjust the screen share so you can see the English. Sorry. There we go. Yeah, so this is a really, really lovely song of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. So in the first verse, he's singing, we have two translations actually. I have the one that's on the screen, and then I have the one that's also in this Sri Gaudiya Gita Gucha book, and they're slightly different, so we'll read both translations. So here we have glory, glory to Lord Nityananda. He is Lord Balaram himself. To deliver the fallen sinners, he extends his two arms. And the translation in this book is all glories to Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the son of Rohini. To deliver the fallen souls, he extends his two arms. So in the last series of talks that we gave, we explored quite a lot how Lord Nityananda is none other than Lord Sri Balaram himself, the first expansion of Krishna. And so Vrindavan Das Thakur here, he's in one translation we have that as him as he is Lord Balaram himself, because Rohini Kumar means Lord Balaram, but it also means the son of Rohini. So so he's expressing all glories to Sri Nityananda Ram Prabhu, who is Lord Balaram himself. And then he says, to deliver the fallen souls, he extends his two arms. And this is quite significant in itself, his extending of two arms. And on that subject, I would like to just draw your attention to a very nice commentary in this Shikshashtakam of Sri Chaitanya, written by Srila Bhaktivedanta Tripurari Swami Maharaj, who's my Guru Maharaj. And it's a really nice commentary. And he as he goes through the 8 verses of the Shikshashtakam, the prayers left by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then he's explaining how these verses correspond with the different stages of bhakti, you know, from Shraddha to Sadhu Sangha to Bhajana Kriya, Narta Nivritti, and so on. And on the commentary of the 4th verse, so the 4th verse of the Shikshashtakam is said to correspond with the stage of Ruchi. And that fourth verse is Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmarishvare bhavatat bhakti rahaituki tvai, which translates as, O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. So in this commentary by my Guru Maharaj, he explains a bit more about the words that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu uses, and how at this stage of ruchi, the sadhaka, so Mahaprabhu's sort of changing his perspective from addressing Krishna as Jagadish, or like the Lord of the universe, or the Paramatma, to his Ishvara, or his Praneshvara, his the deity in his heart. And I'd just like to read a couple of small extracts from this book, and then we'll go on to see how it connects with Nityananda Prabhu extending his two arms. So, as Mahaprabhu turns from the world of material desire toward his inner ideal, he bows one last time to the manifestation of Krishna that rules the world, referring to him in this verse by the name Jagadish. This name of God refers to the Paramatma feature of God, the overseer of the world, and to the Aishwarya aspect of Mahaprabhu's deity, Krishna. Although it is not until the stage of asakti that the deity comes to sit in the sadhaka's heart and fully displaces the Paramatma, in the stage of ruchi, this displacement begins to manifest. Therefore, after addressing his deity as Jagadish in the first half of this verse, Mahaprabhu then refers to him as Ishwara. By this name, he refers not to Paramatma, but rather to his Praneshwara, the Lord, Ishwara, of his life, Pran, Sri Krishna. Thus he prays for unalloyed devotion to Krishna, his Praneshwara, life after life, and not to the Paramatma, to whom he is bidding farewell. And then the Guru Maharaj goes on to say, by invoking the name Ishwara, Praneshwara, in his fourth stanza, in contrast to the name Jagadish, Mahaprabhu implies that the sadhaka's shift toward actual Leela Seva has its earliest beginning in Ruchi, as one moves from the jurisdiction of the Paramatma to the jurisdiction of one's personal deity, situated in his eternal Leela. And then my Guru Maharaj goes on to say, a little bit after, that should any sadhaka who has not yet attained ruchi or asakti despair at this conclusion, that in the early stages of sadhana, the Paramatma is involved in one's life more than one's personal deity, he or she can take solace in Mahaprabhu Vishvambar himself, as well as in the most merciful Nityananda. Although Mahaprabhu prays to Jagadish and his Praneshwara in this verse, his followers should pray to him. He is Vishvambar, the maintainer of the universe, and he is Krishna himself, the source of all avatars. He is the Yuga avatar, and he is lost in Mahabhav. Thus, he is both our Jagadish and our Praneshwara. With one hand, he reaches out to the Baddha Jiva with the Yuga Dharma, and with the other, he reaches up to the highest point of Vraja Prem as he dances in Nam Sankirtan. He is Krishna himself, yet present in the world for sadhakas in his Acharya Leela, and as his other self, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, he is present that much more, with both hands stretched out to all materially conditioned souls. Thakur Bhaktivinoda has emphasized that worship of Gaura Nityananda in Dasya Bhakti begets Vraja Prem. Worship in Nadia, live in Vrindavan. Gaura Nityananda hear the prayers of their sadhakas, even those who have no ruchi. And as their sadhakas attain ruchi, Gaura Nityananda begin to crack open the door to service in Krishna's eternal Leela. So I really like that bit. I really like how my Guru Maharaj explains this, that often we see the deity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sometimes on the altar with Radha and Krishna, with one hand extending to the highest Radha Bhav and being lost in that, but his other hand is outstretched, giving that to the world. Whereas Nityananda Prabhu, as we hear in this commentary and also in this first verse of the song, that in order to deliver the fallen souls of this world, Nityananda Prabhu extends his two arms. So how does my Guru Maharaj says that he is present that much more with both hands stretched out. So we can see how merciful Sri Nityananda Prabhu is. So then the second verse. So on the screen we've got his half words spoken in a choked voice are the sweetest nectar. Whomever he sees, he hugs in the ecstasy of spiritual love. And the translation here is with a choked voice, he stammers sweetly. Whomever he sees, he lovingly embraces. So very, very sweet. So Gad, his voice is choked up. We hear this expression also in the Gaura Arati song, and the last verse that Narad and Shiva and others, their voices are choked up with prema. But this is described as something very sweet. And whoever he sees, he lovingly embraces. So absorbed in that prema, anybody that he comes across, he embraces them. And as we know from the study of the last song that we studied in the previous series, the Akroda Paramananda, Nityananda Rai, that he's giving the holy name to everyone he sees. So he has this very, very merciful, all-encompassing, giving the holy name to everyone, embracing everyone. It's really nice. So the third verse, continuing his mood. How does it say here? So here it says, his eyes are always restless. They are like two black bees flying among golden lotus flowers. And in the translation here, it says, overflowing with prema, his eyes always roll about restlessly, looking like bumblebees hovering over a golden lotus. So again, a very, very sweet description, that his eyes are always restless. We spoke before how it's described in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, that Lord Nityananda's mood was like that of a restless child. So this vision of his eyes always being restless, and especially how it's described that they looked like bumblebees hovering over a golden lotus. So I think it's very significant also that the golden lotus is described, because as we know, the color of prema, or the color of pure love, is often is described to be like molten gold, like golden. So he's absorbed in that love, and it's as if his eyes are always seeking it. And then what do we have? So Dvayara Thakur Nitai. So here it says, Lord Nitai is the master of mercy. Dvayara Thakur Nitai. Seeing the people tormented by troubles, he strings for them a necklace of Lord Hari's holy names. To person after person, he gives that necklace. Wow. And then the translation here. So here it's got Lord Nitai as the master of mercy. And here it's describing him as the merciful Lord, Dwayara Thakur Nitai, the merciful Lord, Sri Nitai, knows the sufferings of others. He has strung together a garland of the holy names, which he has bestowed upon the people of this world. So again, it's a wonderful, wonderful description. He knows the sufferings of others. We also discussed it before in our exploring who Lord Nityananda is, being that he is Lord Balaram himself. And then from Lord Balaram, we discussed in the previous series of talks, how from Lord Balaram come the Chatur Vyuha, and then the different Vishnus, who, you know, Mahavishnu and Kshirodakshayi Vishnu, and that he is, so those Vishnus are coming from Lord Balaram, and the super soul, Paramatma, Antaryami, is present in the heart with all of us. You can say Hridaya Nitai, that Nitai is in the heart. And so therefore he really does, he knows the sufferings of others. And being so extremely merciful, he has strung together a garland of the holy names, which he has bestowed upon the people of this world. And here it's saying that, he gives that necklace to person after person. So again, he's approaching all people with no discrimination, begging them to chant the holy names. And also, I think this bestowing that upon the people of this world also kind of ties in quite well with the fact that Lord Nityananda gave such mercy to both Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami and Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. And by that bestowal of mercy upon those great saints who wrote those biographies, then even more so the mercy of bhakti has been spread throughout the whole world. You know, nowadays almost anyone in the world can read Chaitanya Bhagavat or Chaitanya Charitamrita. They've been translated into so many languages. So it's all the mercy of Lord Nityananda. He's literally garlanded the whole world with the holy names. And we also hear, it's also nice to think that, you know, our Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada did the same with this being specifically empowered by Lord Nityananda. He had that same mood and, you know, spread so much around the whole world. It's really nice. So then we've got verse 5. So here, I'll read the translation on the screen first. The arrogant blasphemers and sinners he rips into shreds. To the poor fallen people, he gives the gift of ecstatic spiritual love. The translation in this book is slightly different, because it doesn't say that he rips them to shreds. It says that he has subdued the sinners and the atheists, but he has distributed prema to the poor and lowly. So subdued, I think, to me makes more sense. I mean, I don't personally know examples of Nityananda Prabhu sort of metaphorically ripping into shreds, you know, blasphemers and sinners, but subduing, yeah, I mean, the definition of to subdue means to reduce the force of something or to prevent something from existing or developing. So we know that there are examples of Nityananda Prabhu doing that to people that were previously very sinful. We obviously have the prime example of Jagai and Madhai, that you know, we've heard about the terrible, atrocious activities that they committed I mean, I've heard from devotees before that they systematically went through the Manu Samhita, breaking every single rule in it. And some of them were really quite ghastly. So Nityananda Prabhu, he saved them, and he had mercy for them, and he transformed them into, and they became pure devotees, as we know. So yeah, I quite like this translation, that he has subdued the sinners and the atheists and distributed prema to the poor and the lowly. And then we have verse 6, which says, calling out, oh Gauranga, he falls to the ground. His whole body is soaked with tears. And the translation here, calling out, alas, O Gauranga, he falls to the earth. Nitai's whole body becomes soaked with the tears from his eyes. So this verse, I just think, is wow, it's quite inconceivable. What a transcendental personality. I mean, for a start, I mean, the fact when he describes that he falls to the earth, we've heard a similar description in the song that we studied before of Lochandas Thakur, the Sakrodha Paramananda Nityananda Rai, that in that song, it actually said that so Nityananda Prabhu was approaching people, with such humility, with the straw in his teeth, begging them to worship and chant Gaura Hari. And then after he says that, then he falls to the ground. Lochandas Thakur describes. So in the same way, Vrindavan Das Thakur is also describing how Nityananda Prabhu falls to the ground. And again, both of them, both Srila Lochandas Thakur and Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, both describe him as being like a mountain falling. But this, I just think it's amazing, this Sharira Bijilo Nitar Nayanera Jale, that Nitai's whole body, his whole body becomes soaked with the tears from his eyes. So again, a symptom of prema, these sattvic bhavs, I think it's described. And similarly in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Shikshashtakam, when he's praying that tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain. And we hear that Mahaprabhu would have the same symptoms, that the tears were just gushing from his eyes. So the Nityananda Prabhu would experience the same, and his entire body would just become soaked by those tears. So then in the last verse, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, he's singing Vrindavana dasamane evi charilo dharini upare kiba sumeru podilo. Within his heart, Vrindavan Das considers Sri Nityananda Prabhu to be like Mount Sumeru falling upon the earth. And here in his heart, Vrindavan Das thinks, now Lord Nityananda is like a golden Mount Sumeru falling to the ground. So again, it's like something very majestic. Mount Sumeru is the same as Mount Meru. And some of you may be familiar with in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna is describing different ways of perceiving him in this world. And one of the things he says is that he says Meru Shikarinam Aham, of mountains I am Meru. So we know that Meru is in the Himalayas, and it's absolutely huge. So it really gives us this very like kind of majestic impression of Lord Nityananda, and the fact that he's being compared to a golden mountain. That we heard last week when we read the description of Krishnadas Kaviraj's dream, and he described how the body of Lord Nityananda appeared, how he had this very strong and heavy body, and it was very heroic. And you know, we heard that he was very tall and stout and strong, so he had this very like majestic appearance. So we can just imagine if he was, you know, to fall on the ground, why you know, these great saints are describing like a mountain. It's very wonderful. You know, it's in his heart, Vrindavan Das thinks like this. So Lord Nityananda Prabhu is Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur's Ishtadev, in his heart, his Lord, and that's how he's seeing him, as this, you know, there's such majesty. So I think that's I'll just stop sharing the I'll stop sharing the screen. And yeah, so I guess that's kind of it for going through that song for today. I'm not sure if anything else comes to mind. I don't know if Sharada's on the call today, because I wanted to ask her actually. Oh, she is on the call. I wonder if, because that verse where it was described that Papi Pashandi Jato Korilo Dalana, that it was translated in two different ways, as subduing the sinners, but also like ripping them to shreds. I wonder if Sharada might have some better understanding of the Bengali there, whether, I don't know if you'd like to share, or if anybody else has anything to share. Oh, sorry, yeah, please.
The only thing I can say is that ripping into shreds, it shows his anger, as in that, because even though Nityananda is so tolerant usually, it's a way to describe his reaction, his anger, his intolerance to blasphemers and sinners, because that's his characteristic, that he's usually very merciful, but the only thing that he's not so merciful is to the blasphemers and sinners. So it's describing the Bengalis, kind of describing his intolerance to it, rather than than his reaction. As well as his reaction to it, it's his intolerance to it. It's something that he can't stand, he can't take. So it's difficult to translate it, but that's the thing. It's a difficult translation.
No, but that's great. That's really helped a lot, actually, describing his intolerance to it. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Good. I was just about to comment on it actually in the chat, so that's good.
Oh, great.
Thank you, Jen.
Great. Yeah, because I didn't find a word for word translation. I tried to find word for word translation, but I couldn't. So that's what I wanted to ask you.
It's not easy to translate certain parts of it, but it's another way of saying it is that he's not tolerant of it. Well, that's all I can say, but if anyone else has something, because I'm not that wonderful. Ami ektu Bangla bole pari, which means I only speak a little bit Bengali. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Sharada.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else has any comments or anything to add, or questions or anything, but if not, then we shall leave it there for today, and we'll be back next Monday with the third installment. Yeah, okay, if that's good. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today, and I hope that you all have a wonderful week, and offer my obeisances to you all. Thank you so much. Vanchakalpatarubhishcha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Shri Gurudev ki jai, Shri Gaura Nityananda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.